Number 16, x cubed times quantity x squared minus 5 equals minus 4x. If x is greater than 0, what is one possible solution to the equation above? Well, right away I can see 0 as a solution. 0 times this equals what would be 0 on the right side. 0 would equal 0, except that doesn't work. X has to be greater than 0. So I'm going to actually distribute this, given the parentheses. X to the fifth minus 5x cubed equals minus 4x. I'm going to add the 4x to both sides. X to the fifth minus 5x cubed plus 4x equals 0. I can factor out the x, and that's our solution of 0, which doesn't count in our case. X to the fourth minus 5x squared plus 4 equals 0. We can see this is actually a quadratic in parentheses. If I substituted a equals x squared, it would essentially be a squared minus 5a plus 4. So what I'm going to end up with as I factor this out is x really times x squared plus or minus something times x squared plus or minus something equals 0. Well, what is that? What factors of 4 have a sum of negative 5? Well, it's going to be x squared minus 4 minus 1. That's product of plus 4 and a summation of minus 5. So that means x squared equals 4, x squared equals 1, x equals plus or minus 2. Taking the square root of both sides, x equals plus or minus 1. Taking the square root of both sides. Again, x is greater than 0, so negative 2 and negative 1 do not count. What is one possible solution? Well, it can either be 1 plus 1, or it could be 2 plus 2. Those are the two possible answers to 16. Either one will work. Number 17, if 7/9 x minus 4/9 x, well, that's just going to be 3/9 x, which simplified is 1/3 x, equals the right side. Well, I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. So let's do that. Multiply by 3. 3 times 1/3 x equals 3 times 1/4 plus 5/12. And that equals, that cancels, x equals 3/4 plus 15/12. Okay? Well, let's put this into a common denominator because I'm adding fractions. 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12 plus 15/12, which equals 24/12. X equals 2. The correct answer for 17 is 2. And they are, in fact, asking for the value of x. So let's plug that in, just double check our answer. If I plug this in, 1/3 of 2 is 2/3 on the left side. And on the right side, well, I'll have to adjust my denominator again for common denominator. 3/4 plus 5/12 is, or 3/12 plus 5/12 as equivalent fractions over 5 will be 8/12, and 8/12 is 2/3. So that actually checks. That's the correct answer. X equals 2. Number 18. So I've got a graph, and two isosceles triangles are shown above. That hash marks indicate that those sides are the same length. If 180 minus z equals 2y, and y equals 75, what is the value of x? So what can we say here? Y is 75. That means 2y is 150. 180 minus z equals 150. Okay? So that means z equals 30. Okay? So that angle there is 30. And this is an isosceles triangle. The interior angles must sum to 180. These angles will be exactly the same. So that's going to be 30 plus 150 makes 180. So 2a equals 150. The sum of the angles that makes 180 degrees of interior angles of the triangle. A equals 75. That means x. What do we want to know x is? X is an angle along a line or linear pair postulate, linear pair with A, which means x plus a equals 180 in degrees. We know a is 75. So x must equal 180 minus 75, or 105. The correct answer for 18 is 105.